Hi, everybody. I'm Ronnie.
Hello, and I'm Jenny, and we are
We are the Heart and Soul Sisters.
definitely.
Yes, still
How you
us.
doing?
I'm great. How are
We're
you?
here. Fabulous. Thank you.
So, we're continuing in this podcast on our journey through some of the people we've read. These are all probably within the last decade, right? Wouldn't you say? Folks we're talking about now, probably even less than
Or
that.
less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Some of them are just the last few years. But
Yeah.
so today we're going to talk about the one and only Eckhart Tolle, and
Yes.
in particular his book, The Power of Now, which is
Yes.
a lot to unpack. So, our usual
Mm-hmm.
disclaimer, we're just going to hit on some of the high points, the things that resonated with us. Anybody else who read it could probably pick up a whole lot more. But take it away, Jenny.
Okay, I'm going to
Eckhart
start
Tolle.
because you can just fill in, dear sister. I need to reread his book because probably been a couple years since I've read his book, and I also have him on audiobooks too because I love to listen to books as
Yeah.
I drive. And I love I think the overall message that I just love from his book is how much energy and time we spend living in the past and reliving the pain of the past, and that or worrying about the future.
Right.
And I was
Right.
like, as every it's like every line as I'm reading, I'm like, that's me. Yep, okay.
Check.
Yep, that's me too. Check. So the power of now and of being present now is something that I'm daily trying to live, right, and just to be aware of when I am not focused in the moment, which is,
Hmm.
gosh, all the time. I mean, unless I'm meditating or walking outside and just really drinking in the moment of being with the trees or the horses or laughing with the kids. I think when I am truly present in the now is when I'm the times that I can think of are when I'm meditating, sort of, because my mind is like a monkey brain and is chattering
Right.
too. But in the moment of just being joyful with my children or my grandchildren, like we had a moment last night that we laughed so hard. I can't even remember. It was. I'm sure it was me. I'm fodder for humor in my family, and so it was something I said or did that just snowballed, and the kids, took it and ran with it, and we were just like ridiculously giddy and laughing so hard that our chests hurt and we were crying and
Oh.
gasping for air. And talk about being present in the moment. You can't truly, that's why comedians are so awesome, right? You
Hmm.
Because you really are in the moment of and enjoying that and music too as another one where
Right.
you're just so totally enthralled in that moment of creating that beautiful music. How can you focus on anything else? So those are moments that I think of when I'm just in that state of bliss, and that's how we're made to be, right? We're
Right.
made to have those just incredible moments of bliss, and they don't have to be some complex thing that you go to the top of, the Himalayan mountains to, I mean, it's just everyday moments of really truly being present and just reveling in that. And I think that's what Eckhart Tolle is trying to help us understand, is
Right.
that being present in the now is available for all of us when we are truly checked in and tuned in to where we are right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you've hit upon what I think are one of the biggest messages, which is that's the only place we can experience joy.
Yeah.
I mean, we can have a pleasant time remembering memories, right, and sharing the stories. And to the extent the stories can bring us back to that moment, we can do that, but our truly blissful moments are when we are fully engaged with what's in front of us. And it could be a mouthful of your favorite food and just really,
Mm-hmm.
really, really enjoying it. It could. I had a moment just the other day. Working at home now, as many of us are in the pandemic. My cats are overjoyed, right? They love that I'm at home, particularly Josie. I'll be in my recliner and she sits on my elbow, and I'll pet her, and I'll say, "You're such a pretty girl, and you're so soft," and I'll try to enjoy that. But inevitably, I've got to get to my work, right? I've been sitting there with my laptop on my lap, and I've got to look at my email or whatever it is I've got to do. And so the other day, she was looking at me, meowing at me like she does in the morning, like, "Get in your chair so you can sit down, I can sit on your lap." And I thought, "Come here, you." And I just picked her up, and I just, both arms, like right up against my chest, right over my heart. And she just, the purring just kicked way up, right? And she just was super happy. And I just held her, and she just hung there as I held her. And I wasn't even petting her really or anything. We were just in each other's presence very fully. It's like, this is just so wonderful, right? I mean, I love her. I enjoy her. She's soft. I recognize that every day when I touch her. But I really just took everything I had and enjoyed her in that moment. And it was a whole nother level of experience. It was so peaceful. It was so blissful. It was amazing. And what I
Yeah.
love about Eckhart Tolle is that he reminds us that those moments are available every single moment, right? That we have that opportunity to tune into what's happening right now and to have that level of awareness. It's about awareness. It's about consciousness. Where
Mm-hmm.
is your attention? And so, in talking to people, right? Having being a conscious listener. So
Yeah.
most of us listen to think about what we're going to say next. We don't listen with our full presence, with our entire being. Like, it's not just that we're sitting there and maybe we're making good eye contact and we don't have headphones in our ears, but that our entire being is open, right? All our energy is just open. It's as if we're standing there like the Jesus in Rio de Janeiro, right? Our arms are out, energetically, saying, "I'm here to take in all of you, your entire presence with my entire being." And
Yeah.
it's not that it's always easy to do, but that it's a choice we can make in any moment to at least
Mm-hmm.
try to focus our presence in that way.
Yeah.
And so if we do that, then even small annoyances go away. Like one of his lines I really love, and I've tried to turn this into a meditative practice. He doesn't, I don't think he says this exactly, but the way I internalized it was, "You should never, ever be waiting again. Because if you're waiting, you're living in the future. Like something has to change, or you want something to change. And so you're waiting for that to happen. Whereas if you're just in the moment, then you're living this moment like you're living every other moment. There's nothing inherently dissatisfying about it because whatever it is you're waiting for hasn't arrived yet or hasn't happened yet. I just, it's both simple and extraordinarily complex at the same time because the idea of it is very simple, right? You just pay attention to what's happening right now. But in practice,
Mm-hmm.
it's so hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to do on a sustained basis. It really is.
Yeah.
And yet he maintains that's the only spiritual practice you need. People who go to programs and read books and attend workshops, and we've done all that, right?
Yeah. I would say like us.
And like us, just like us, right? And part of it is just the experience of it, hearing what other people have to
Yeah.
say and trying new
Yeah.
things. But if the goal is some sort of spiritual awakening, it's just the practice of being fully immersed in this moment right now,
Mm-hmm.
and right now, and right now, right? It's this string of pearls, right? Every moment sort of strung together. It's really, yeah, I mean, that's really all there is. I was listening to him just earlier today before we were podcasting. He did a a live event earlier in the week, and I signed up for it, but I wasn't able to go, and so I got the recording. I thought, well, this is perfect. I'll listen to it while I'm waiting for the time that we're going to podcast together, right? Between now and the time that we're going to podcast together today. And he said, that's really it. He said, that's if all you do is sit or stand or lie down or whatever your position is, and become aware of yourself in this present moment, right? Oh, free from thoughts, right? Thoughts are what drag us into the past and the future.
Right.
The memories with anger and sorrow and regret, or the projections, the anxieties, the worries into what might happen or what might not happen. It's the thought mind that pulls us out of the now. And so if we just center into our being, that's where presence is. It's in the gaps between the thoughts. And can we just watch what happens? We're not trying to get anywhere to any states, right? That was always my difficulty with meditating. We talked about that when we talked about meditation on our last season. That I felt like I was trying to get somewhere. I was trying to get to some elevated state of mind, whatever that is.
Get to nirvana?
Yeah, I was getting somewhere. I was trying to get somewhere. I don't know. It was somewhere I wasn't already. And I felt like, well, I'm a failure. I can't do this. I can't meditate. And meditate is just really being fully present to who you are moment by moment. The gap between the thoughts. The thoughts don't necessarily go away. You're just aware, oh, okay, I see that.
My knee's tight. My hip hurts.
That's a thought.
I've got a cramp in my toe. Yeah. It's the gap in between those thoughts.
You're so funny. But no, I mean, that's another thing he talks about is that really you're laughing about your body and how it feels as you sit for a while when you're trying to meditate. But that's where the now is. The now is in the body. And so to me, it was so interesting when I read it for the first time, because so much of the spiritual practice across philosophies, right, across religions or ideologies, is that the body is a bad thing and you deny the body, and there's the mortification of the flesh, and there's fasting and cleansing and all this stuff. Don't have alcohol and don't have sugar and don't have, and I'm not making any judgment on anybody who does any of those things.
No,
but what he is saying is that the body is the only place to access the now. Like if you're, and we've talked about this before.
This is what's grounding us and where we are.
Yes.
It's the body, right?
Exactly. And so
This
if we're ever anxious, the quickest way out of anxiety is to breathe deeply, not because there's something magical about that in and of itself, but that when you do that, like focus on feeling the belly and the breath, you're bringing your awareness back to the body, and the body only exists in the now. It doesn't exist in the past, doesn't exist in the future. And so, so the body actually is the place where you're going to say, okay, now, yes, my toe is cramped and my hip is tight. And, I'm aware of that. I'm aware that that's what's happening right now in this moment.
Yep.
So I really like that. So that for me connects to like Dr. Kim, right? Where the body is that body is part of the overall energy field, and by paying attention to the body, we can shift the energy just by being aware of it. Again, not
connected,
trying to make it different, but just kind of going back to Matt Kahn, accepting what is, right? Whatever is arising, we love that. And if we can't love it, we send love to the one who can't love it right now, So it's just, I just love how all these threads kind of come together and connect with each other.
Yeah.
There's also there was one other thing about Eckhart Tolle I was thinking about as I was talking, which I'm doing a lot of, but the idea that bliss happens in the present moment, what you were talking about earlier, and that we actually have a lot of power to choose to be happy in this moment, no matter what else is going on, right? Despite what might be happening in our lives. And I love this because it's kind of like, it's a mantra that I sort of developed when I feel myself kind of projecting, especially projecting forward and being anxious or worried about something. I try to say, right now, I am just fine. Like if I root myself back into the now, I recognize that I'm actually okay right now.
Yeah. Right.
I had an experience of this when I was traveling a couple of years back, and I live in New York, and I was out on the West Coast for a conference, and my flight was getting delayed and delayed and delayed, which meant I was going to miss my connection in Chicago, and I was going to be late getting back. I wouldn't get back that night. I'd have to get back the next day, which was going to disrupt my work day, and so I'm having all these feelings and anxieties about this. It's like a slow motion disaster you can see coming.
Yeah, right.
And I was really
Unfolding.
stressed about it. And I finally thought, you know what? Actually, right now I'm okay. I'm sitting here, I'm watching at the gate. I know we're not going to make it on time. I know I'm not going to make my connection. But right now I'm actually quite comfortable. I'm reading. I have the extra time. I finished the work I needed to do, so I'm just reading something for fun, and I'm okay. And we got on the plane, and as airlines often do, they'll offer everyone a cocktail to keep you a little happy, even though you're
Take
late.
the edge off.
Take the edge off, right. So, like I just kind of tried to move through each stage of the trip, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to wait in line to get my voucher. I have to go to the hotel,
Yep.
blah. But I was trying to stay in the moment, and I remember I got to the hotel, and I was chatting with the woman at the bar, and I said, can I actually, because it was late, I came in, I said, can I get a glass of port to take up to my room? And she said, of course. So she's getting the port out, and I'm telling her my story about how, I just come from Seattle, and I had this, and I had that, and she's like, well, here you go, honey. And she gave me a nice extra large pour. I thought, you know what? This isn't so bad. I'm in a beautiful hotel room. I got a big glass of port. It's a big, comfortable bed. I'll have to get up early and catch my flight, but that's okay. I'll get a flight. I'll get home. It's like, it was just, when it was all
Yep.
over, it
Yep.
was a really nice, just a nice exercise in right now, I am just fine. And
Yeah,
for
you
me,
weren't
that
hurting.
is, no, I wasn't. I wasn't. And to me, that's the power of now, is that I could choose. I mean, I think there are limits to this. If you are being abused in the moment, physically, emotionally, you're being tortured. Like there are, of course, parts of human experience where I don't care who you are, you're going to have a really hard time finding bliss or joy or serenity in that particular moment. But for most of us, for most of the moments in our day, I just love this idea that we have this power. We do have this power, because even the things we're worried about, they might not be what we think they are when they arrive. They
Yeah.
might be very different. We might be imagining something that never comes. Something could change between now and the time we think it's going to arrive, so that it becomes a moot point. For those of you, I got to just say, for those of you who are watching, the sun is coming in and out behind me, so it looks like we're
I know, I can
washing
see
out,
it.
and
You're
then I'm coming
glowing.
back. It's so funny. I feel like a ghost, like I sort of disappear, and then it's coming from like
You're
a side
glowing.
window here. Yeah, thanks. But just to finish that thought, I do love the idea that we really do have that power. We have that power to say, can I just stop in this moment and realize I'm okay? I'm comfortable. Even when I'm wide awake, I've tried to start doing that, like if I can't sleep. So you know what? I'm horizontal. This bed is comfortable. I love these pillows. I'm warm. This blanket is nice. Can I just appreciate that about it, as opposed to railing about how little sleep I'm going to get and how I might feel the next day, and so on. So
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot now, Ronnie. What is
yes.
that Mark Twain quote? It fits perfectly with what we're talking about, where Mark Twain was talking about how,
Oh,
um,
I'm an old man, and I have seen many troubles, but most of them never happened.
yes.
That's my favorite. I love that one.
I love that quote. Because, a lot
My
of us
life.
borrow
That's my
trouble,
life.
man. We worry. We worry. We worry about stuff that's not happened yet.
Right.
I mean, and how much misery we create in our lives worrying.
Right.
I mean, I'm guilty of that. I've done that many
Oh,
times.
of
But
course.
yeah,
Still do.
yeah.
You and I were doing that last night, if you recall. We had something happen, and we're ruminating about, oh my God, what's this, and what are we gonna do about that, and how do we do it, and how do we?
Yes.
And I actually, after we got off the phone, and we had
I
calmed
said,
down a little bit, I brought this to bear. I said, you know what? Right now, I'm just fine. I'm going to continue on
Yeah.
with what I was doing,
Yep.
and we'll see what happens in the future if anything happens related to, the issue. So
Yeah.
I find this
In
to
the
be a
meantime,
very powerful tool.
absolutely. Just focusing on what is going on in this moment, and how I can really get the most out of this moment and
Yeah,
make the most of this moment.
right.
Yeah. So Eckhart, Tolle, we just love you.
We do, we
He's
do,
just
and we've only scratched the surface of the tip of the iceberg of all the wisdom
oh
that's
yeah.
in just that one book.
There's so much more.
There's so much more there, but those are the things that have stuck with us and that we've really found very meaningful.
Time to read that book again too.
It is. It is. It is.
It's been a couple years.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our blessings to Eckhart Tolle, and thanks for
Yes.
what we've been able to learn from him.
Absolutely.
And next time we'll share another favorite person with us. We'll keep you in suspense who that is.
Yes.
You'll have to tune in.
Because we haven't figured out which one we're going to talk about next either.
No, we have a list, but we're trying to think about
Yeah, that's true.
what kind of order makes sense.
What
So
order? Yeah. So
yeah,
you'll find out.
you will. Stay
And if you
tuned.
have any thoughts you'd love to share, we would love to hear from you. Yeah. So please feel free
Yes.
to
Yep.
reach
We're
out to us.
welcome your comments. And you can find us on our Facebook page. We have an Instagram account and a website, and all that information is both at the beginning and the end of our podcast. So if you're visual, you can see it there. If you're listening to the audio version, we are the Heart and Soul Sisters on both Facebook and Instagram. And our website is www.heartandsoulsisters, all words spelled out, .net. So until next time, Jenny, what are we wishing?
We are wishing you so much love and light
And many, 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 many blessings in the now.
absolutely.
Be well, all.